Hi guys, tonight we're going to take a look at function notation. And this little symbol right here is function notation. F stands for the function and X stands for the number we're going to put into the function. So it's very similar to when we're evaluating expressions and we say let X equal 2 and then we substitute 2 into an expression. So the first equation we're going to look at is the equation y equals 9 minus 4x. This represents a function. Our input is x and our output is y. You can use the letter f to name this function and then use something called function notation. So why do we use the letter f? Well, it has a function starts with f. If we have more than one function, like down here, we can use different letters to represent different functions. So when we're using function notation, let's take a look at this diagram over here. The f of x, f is the name of the function, x is the input variable, and we read this as f of x. And f of x is the same thing as y. But we just name them different things because we want to distinguish between, if we have equations, so if we have 4 equations that say y equals, well, I need to know which equation we're talking about. These parentheses right here do not mean multiplication. It just means what letter or what number can I plug in for x here and in here. So let's go back over here to our definition. You read f of x as f of x, which means the input value of the function f, the output value, of the function f for the input value x. It's just substitution. So if we want to find f of 2 for this equation up here, 9 minus 4x, really all that means is we're going to let x equal 2. So we're going to take out x and plug in 2 and plug in 2 here, and what we end up with is f of 2 equals 9 minus 4 times 2, and 9 minus 8 is 1. So if we evaluate this function up here for x equal 2, our input is 2 and our output is 1. And if we wanted to write that as an ordered pair, when we put in 2, we got an output of 1. It's basically just taking this x out of the equation and plugging in whatever value we put inside the function. So let's take a look at example number 1. We have the function f of x equals 7x minus 1. We need to find f of negative 2. So all that means is wherever we see x, we're going to plug in negative 2. So we're looking for f of negative 2. That's 7 times negative 2 minus 1, which is negative 14 minus 1, which equals negative 15. So f of negative 2 equals negative 15. We're just taking out x and we're plugging in negative 2. So if you look over here, we have the function, this is the function f, this is the function h. These letters are just used to represent different functions. So if we have more than one function on a page, I can say look at function h or look at function f. So we're going to do the same thing with example 2. We're going to find, actually this one's backwards, sorry. We're going to find x if this whole thing equals 2. So I'm trying to figure out what number can I plug in here that's going to give me an answer of negative 2. So I want to know if this equals negative 2, what is x? So we have to just use cross products. And if we do negative 2 times x, that's the same as 12 times 1. We get negative 2x equals 12. Divide by negative 2, we get x equals negative 6. So h of negative 6 is equal to negative 2. We just wanted to work backwards on this one. If we knew what the answer was, what number can we plug in here to get negative 2 as an answer? Okay, we're going to use the graph below to answer questions 3 through 8. Unfortunately, we have a typo right here. So for 7 and 8, these should both say g of x, not f of x. So our function that we're looking at is g of x. Do we know what the function is? We don't. We just know that we have a graph of g of x right here. And just to highlight the graph so we can see it a little better, here is the graph g of x. And we know it's a function, 1, because I told you, and 2, because it passes the vertical line test. So question number 3 says we want to find g of 0. So when x is 0, what is y? That's what we're looking for. So we're going to go on our x-axis. When x is 0, what is y? Y is 3. So g of 0 is 3. Number 4, when x is 4, again, we're looking for what's the y value. So I'm going to go to my graph at 4, draw a line up till it hits that function, and f of 4 is 6. Number 5, we're looking for g of 6. So when x is 6, what is y? So when x is 6, we're going to go up till it hits that function, and it gives us a y value of 1. So in number 6, we're looking for x values where g of x is 3. So we're going to work backwards on this one. This one is asking what is x when y equals 3. So we have a few different answers for that. So here's 3, and one answer for that is, if we go down here, x is 0. Continue on our graph again. Right here is another point. X is also 1. If I continue on my graph, here's another point. X is also 2. So where else does it hit the graph? It hits right here when x is about 4.7. Continue on, it hits my function right here again, and that's when x is 9. So when y is 3, it has several different, hits the graph several different places. It hits the graph here, 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 here. It hits here at 4.7 and here at 9. So number 7 and 8, what is x? Whoops, sorry. What is x when y equals 6? So we're going to go over here to 6. Stop when it hits the graph. And when y is 6, x is equal to 4. So g of 4 equals 6. Okay, letter 8. What is x when y equals 0? And I think we've done this already. So when y is 0, nope, we haven't. Let me erase some of this stuff out of here so we can, guess I can't erase it, sorry. So when y is 0, what is x? It's right there. X is 7. And that's pretty much all there is to function notation. So moving on to the video questions for tonight, we have multiple choice question number 1. What is f of 4? So again, when x equals 4, what is y equal to? And keep in mind, this is our x-axis, and the vertical axis is our y-axis. Free response question number 2. Find x if f of x equals 23. So we're going to plug 23 in here, and you need to find what x is equal to. Please make sure you put your answers in the Google form, and if you have any questions about tonight's video, please ask that in the Google form and in class tomorrow.